Hey everyone, so as you know, I'm building a home in this 2024 Mercedes Sprinter. It's been a very slow process so far because there's so much that goes into building a rig this big. Money, first off, because there's a lot of luxuries and technology that you can pack into a large mansion like that one back there that you just can't in a low roof cargo van. Building a low roof cargo van is super simple compared to doing this. You do small amount of insulation, ceilings and walls, and run your wiring on the outside of the walls so things aren't complex. You do maybe 6 puck lights on the roof, bada boom, you're lit up, simple battery, and you're on the road. But because you have a space this large, you have the options to add a lot of really cool luxuries and technology that they've come out with since I started my van life. So that's where this build has become a little bit confusing. So I've been spending a lot of time texting back and forth with Jared from Vancini Conversions in Ontario. He's been sharing a ton of knowledge with me, but it's all been in a text. Like look how long some of these text messages are. This is one of many long messages like this that he has sent me. Just tons and tons of knowledge. But instead of having all this information right here in a text message, I asked Jared if he wouldn't mind making all of us a video so we all can talk about this and you guys can meet Jared, and you guys will probably meet him in Ontario when we go out there this summer to get the van built at Overland Interiors, because Jared is going to be a part of that too as well. So Jared made me a video kind of covering a lot of the stuff that's in here, and I want to share that with you guys. Stick around after that video because I want to share you some of the pictures he sent me from some of the clients' rigs that he has built to see if I can pull some inspiration out of that from him. So this video should have lots of great knowledge for not only those who are building a Sprinter, but anybody who's building a van at any kind that may be at the stage of a build like me, right at the beginning, or is building something in the future.
All right, Chrome, I'm gonna share some information with you for what I've learned building vans the past 4 years. And this is not only me, kind of have a little group of builders all over Canada and North America. We share information with each other and talk about a lot of this stuff. I hate gatekeeping in this industry, so I like to share. I like when people are helpful and reach out and say, hey, did this work for you? Or no, that came back and bit me in the ass. I'm gonna try to go through these quickly, and you can cut this out if you think this is boring and my viewers are falling asleep. A couple things: you get your Sprinter van, there's a quick disconnect on the battery. It's right by the gas pedal. Quickly disconnect that and it shuts off all power to your battery. This is helpful when working on vehicles, specifically people have their own vans. I'm installing my new swivel seats, disconnect the seat, an SRS code comes up, I'm absolutely screwed. Mercedes has to clear the code. It's $200 if they're mean to you. Hopefully they'll do it for free. Disconnecting that battery is good. Also working on it outside, the lights are coming on, doors are open. If your battery dies, that's a big no-no. So that's number one, the quick disconnect location. And kind of in hand with that is get a proper scanner. Having that is the most helpful thing. Mercedes Sprinters, I love them. We primarily build in them. They are prone for the first 5,000 kilometers of their life. You're gonna see an engine light. I'm telling you right now, don't be scared. It's not the end of the world. There's a lot of sensors that kind of work themselves in. And if it thinks, hey, something's going wrong here, it'll throw a code. Realistically, it's nothing. If there's any recalls or stuff, they'll change them out. But having a scanner, if you're out there in the country, out in the boonies, and your engine goes into limp mode, even though it's something super little that has to do with the DEF system, and your vehicle is totally fine, being able to clear that's amazing. And working on the van. If, like I said, if you disconnect that engine quick connect with your vehicle being off and you don't let it sit for 20 minutes, it'll throw an engine light. Having a scanner will be a savior. Kind of next step in your build, it looks like you're running wire. I'm pretty confident you could do most of it, meaning the accessory wire. So when it comes to wire, Angkor product, it's a marine grade wire. You'll find a lot of correlation with marine wiring and kind of the marine industry when it comes to professional van building, because they deal with a lot of moisture, saltwater environments. Angkor wire is a tin coated, it's the best wire you can get, and it prevents oxidization in moist environments. The best thing to do is not undersize your wire. So even here, there's a lot of accessories that'll just use 18 gauge. We pretty much standardize 12, maybe 14 gauge for you. I'd say use 12 gauge for everything. It might sound overkill, but it's not. You're gonna thank yourself later. You won't have voltage drop. If I wanna give you a simple rundown, you might be like, whoa, I'm not planning on wiring my own van. I suggest trying it out. This is how easy it is. Red and black comes in a white sheath, the Angkor wire. Wherever you're putting your batteries, don't be cheap on wire. Leave excess length. If your fridge is going in this area approximately over there, you run a red wire, well, your red and black wire from that battery section to where your appliance is gonna be. If that appliance needs a switch, I just call it, you make a pit stop. You run that one wire, the red and black inside, from your battery compartment. I'm gonna make a pit stop up to this switch up here, and then you continue it down to where the accessory, the appliance is gonna go. And then you can kind of cut it at that pit stop, and that's where it'll be hooking up your switch. When it goes to AC, so receptacles, anything like a microwave, induction cooktop, stuff like that, you use a Anchor triplex wire. It's similar to a Romex. We call it 14.3, 12.3, where Romex would be 14.2. We count the inductor. Anyways, sounds complicated, but for that, it's the same thing. Where your batteries are gonna be, and it just goes to the accessory. There's nothing in between. Yeah, that kind of sums up your electrical. In-floor heating. It's amazing. It's game changer. I used to be hesitant on it. There's in-floor heating pads. They draw way too many amps. They're unrealistic. You run into, they'll burn up the adhesives. There's certain floors that have to go on top of it. It creates a bump. I'd stay far away from those. If you want a proper radiant floor heating that actually acts as a heat source and heats up your furniture on it, there's a company called Rixon's Enterprises. They make everything when it comes to heating systems. They do use Eberspacher for their heat, for their diesel gasoline heater and their hydronic heaters. If you want the Rixon system in-floor heating, it's a full CNC kit that you lay the PEX line in. It is dead simple. There is no connections under the floor, and it's a 3/4 inch fiberglass reinforced closed cell foam. With a 1/4 inch Baltic birch overlay, which is stenciled so you can see the lines, so you're not putting screws, nuts and bolts through them. And the installation honestly wouldn't take you more than an hour. You don't even have to use the in-floor heating. You're paying this a couple extra $100 for the CNC pattern in it, but it's there, and the lines come up into your plumbing section, and they're easy to access in the future. And regardless, I was watching your live here, that 3/4 inch closed cell foam, fiberglass closed cell foam, is also has a great R value in acts as insulation as well, whether you have the in-floor heating or not. I'm fully confident you can do that. Do a bit more research into that. I mean, they've been great. Their customer service is awesome. What's next on my list here? Air conditioner in a van. If you have the electrical system, why not? It is dead simple. Pneumatic cooling we've been using. We've tried out a couple companies over the years, pneumatic cooling. They have their 12 and 48 volt models. I love their 12 volt model. They have an X2 and an X3 come in black and white. The X3 is a bit more powerful and is actually meant to heat 170s. They'll recommend you that direction. We use X2s and 170s, X3s. Regardless, they're amazing. They're easy, 14 by 14 hole, insulation's done. They pull anywhere from 30 to 50 amps. But again, depending on your electrical system, it's super hot day out. You can run your air conditioner for a full day. Not to mention if you're driving, you can run it indefinitely. If you're plugged in, you can run it indefinitely. They're amazing. They're a bit pricey, but again, easy if anything goes wrong with them, parts, customer service. Not sure if you have this in your head already. We always do max air fan over the bed, AC central. 90% of the time, you're still gonna use your max air fan for ventilation. Air conditioners do not have a ventilation mode. They cannot just circulate air. It's either cold air, that's it. I know you mentioned drinking water. Do not skip out on adding a quick little, it's called an Iv'e Aeromax 2. It's a UV filtered drinking water. It runs on 12 volt. Have a little drinking water faucet beside your faucet. It's amazing. You can fill up anywhere, not worry about the water, right? For spraying down, filling by the sink, you're gonna boil it anyways, but at least you know you can drink the water direct from where you're filling. To be honest, I never used to have one in my van. I'll drink wherever I'm filling from. It's normally hose water, but depending on where you travel, we have clients going down to Baja, Mexico, stuff like that. Water can be a little scary there. So having that filtered drinking water is amazing. What else do I have here? Flooring. So once you have your flooring done, Lawn Seal Flooring, it's a brand, California made. It's, again, marine industry flooring. They have thousands of options. Oh, look, here's one here. It looks like a stone. This is called Lawn Marine Stone. Anyways, they have hundreds of options, and it is meant for marine use. They have commercial use, aircraft, military. It's all, for the most part, same material. It's amazing, solid one piece. It adheres down, it works with in-floor heating. And the best part is, again, this stuff's designed to be exposed to UV sun on yacht floors, exposed for years and years. It holds up. If you go with some of that kind of off-brand stuff that kind of looks the same, the worst part about that is you haven't tested it. When it gets super, super hot, it might off-gas, smell horrible with that kind of plasticky smell. Avoid that at all costs. Lawn seal flooring, it's amazing. You can also use it on vertical surfaces, so your garage section, if Andy's doing it, the Baltic birch, you can adhere it on the vertical surface, a bit more durable. You're throwing stuff in there. It'll be amazing, hold up. Last thing, ceilings. I know you're pondering with that. Again, weight, kind of keeping weight in mind. Our standard, beautiful, it's not cheap, but a clear cedar tongue and groove, you can get it in like 20-foot lengths. For your van, you need 14.6 feet, just under 15 feet for the 170. It's some of the lightest wood you can get, and it has amazing properties when it comes to moisture. So it deals well, right? It's exposed to the elements. A lot of people use it in exterior applications. It's amazing for a van, super lightweight, and it looks good. When it comes to kind of those slot style ceilings, again, they're cool, they're amazing. We still do them, but they are going to be a bit more weight involved. And if you're someone who's going to be bombing down those backcountry roads, using a tongue and groove or a shiplap, something that locks into place, is a bit better in my opinion. Last thing here, water tanks inside. Always keep your fresh water inside. Gray water tanks can go outside. You can put heating pads on them, and you can have a nice little button with an electronic ball valve that dumps it, obviously in the appropriate spot. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, I have endless lists, endless information. Again, I hate gatekeeping information. I'm telling you what works for me and what works for clients. Right now, if I could open my phone and getting into our electrical system, I can see our 10 clients currently traveling right now. I get feedback from all the time, what's worked, what doesn't work. And this is just a bit of what we've learned over the years. There's plenty more information, but these I think are what pertain to you in your early stage of the build. Shameless plug, company's Vancini Conversions, but we post a lot of this information and show you our build process on Instagram. Vancini Conversions on Instagram if you want to check us out there. I'll shut up now, Chrome. See you guys.
Jared, thank you for sharing all of that information. And just so you all know, this morning I ordered all the wiring I'm gonna need to start putting this thing together, because it's time to start moving on to the next stages of this. So Jared gave me a list of like a 250-foot roll of this wire, a 250-foot roll of this wire, and that's a lot of wire. And as you heard in that video, I got to plan out where I want my switches, where I want my plugs, and that's gonna come down to, we better plan that layout super, super quick. Speaking of that, let's take a look at some of the pictures of some of the clients' rigs that they have done and some of the floor plans that they've been doing quite a bit lately. Seeing these renderings are actually really, really awesome. I should get some of this stuff done with my ideas once I start coming up with a bit of a better plan. So good. Look how clean that is. I don't know if I want to do white like that, but that looks so summer fresh. I like the LED strips underneath all the cabinets, the pull-out drawer in the back. Oh, the split bathroom in the back. There's a mirror. It's like a full bathroom in the back with a toilet in the back. That's kind of sweet. See, this is kind of like my thought I have here too. So the bunk windows would be there, but the bottom of the bed, do a little funky piece here. That would be my desk right there. So do my desk and stuff right there. Okay, so this is the kind of like the idea I had initially with doing the benches there, but doing a wider bench. And I noticed in a video the other day, some people were talking about doing pull-out drawers all the way up here, so the dog has a way of climbing all up in there. I do like the idea. The idea is pretty darn sweet, but my dog also has a tendency of jumping, so I could see him jumping from here all the way down. If those drawers were happen to be in. And sometimes when they're in the van during the day, he likes to just go lie in bed. So if I had a permanent set of stairs there, he could go up and down anytime that he wanted. But you never know. I mean, I still really am attracted to that sit down area. But I think with the amount of time that I spend behind the computer doing a proper legitimate desk over here is a smart idea. I love that ceiling. With that LED lights like that, the floor is pretty cool too. Ooh, I dig that. As you guys can tell, there is so much to think about. I started to sketch an idea out yesterday. I'm a horrible drawer, but this would be my desk. My thought process was, ignore the DJ gear. My thought process was to do a taller desk to allow me to add one of these to the van because they're actually really, really comfortable. And they tuck away really nicely underneath and barely leave anything hanging out. So my thought was to do a taller desk. That way I can make it my DJ booth in there as well. And my initial thought was, let's put my DJ controller or whatever I put in there for DJ gear mounted into the table. And then some kind of a top goes over top of it. Maybe plexiglass with some lights or something like that. That way I could literally throw my laptop on there and edit. It's my full-blown editing desk. I got speakers there mounted for both editing and DJing. I got my microphone there for doing voiceovers and my controller box that I use for controlling the microphone while I'm doing voiceovers. That can also be the central control system for running my speakers in there. That can be mounted to the counter. That way my voiceover stuff set up for both me doing YouTube videos and for DJ stuff. It's like an all-around dual zone area, putting my DJ booth in there and a full-blown editing desk, but keeping the desk high enough that I can stand and DJ. Because when I DJ in my van and I play around with the music, because I do that sometimes off camera, I'll set up my gear, put my headphones on and play around for a little while, but I do that sitting, and it's so unnatural to not like dance around and vibe a little bit while you're making a DJ mix. So I don't know, maybe I don't know. I was just throwing around ideas. Anyway, you guys, thanks for watching today's video. Hopefully you pulled some knowledge out of here today. If you haven't hit subscribe, please do. And keep your double V's up, y'all. I'll see you guys on the next one.